Welcome back, Summoners. MBI here, going to be bringing you a brand new series which is going to be looking at the latest LoL news. I'm planning on doing this from week to week. We're going to be discussing about the latest skins releases, new champions when they happen to come out. For example, in this video we're going to be looking at the most recent one, which is Gnar. Along with that, I will be talking about the champion skin sales that will be taking place this week and for the following weeks. Also, with the Worlds coming up, I'll be discussing about the teams that are going to take part in that, the teams that are actually going to be relegated through their leagues, through not making the playoffs, and so on. The biggest news of the last week that's happened on League of Legends was the release of Gnar, the new champion that everyone's been waiting for. It's been a long time since they last released a champion. I believe the last one was Braum, which may have been about 2 months ago or something. No one knew it was going to come out, and then about 2 weeks ago they started releasing their sort of pictures about the new champion, and eventually they released the information. And I, for one, was like, wow, that looks cool. If you compare to the champions that originally come out on League of Legends when it first started up, they're very sort of plain, but at the time, they were very cool. And when they now releasing champions like Gnar and you like the Fizz, they're so much more lively, a lot more going on, and especially with the skins. You'll be able to see in the video which is happening at the moment. I love his recall. It probably is my favorite recall in game. The fact that when he's in his ultimate form, that he's just catching a helicopter and eating it. It's just like Godzilla. It's crazy. And he's a crazy champion. I have only played one game with him, which unfortunately was against another Gnar, and I believe I got a couple of kills. I was playing with my mates, so I do plan on doing some videos of him. There is a video up on the channel done by Rhinum, a good friend of mine who's actually in Diamond 5. There's no commentary on that video, but it's a good video if you haven't seen him and you want to know what's sort of going on, maybe how to build him. Really worth checking that out. But yeah, cool champion. I will be releasing content about Gnar over the next sort of week. I'm finally back home now and I can kind of start playing some League of Legends. I've really been enjoying it, playing with some of my friends, so there will be a lot of Gnar content hopefully coming up onto the channel. But as you can see, what a cool champion. I love the idea behind him. There is a spotlight on YouTube on League of Legends channel if you want to know more about him, but he looks pretty cool. I don't know what to say about him. He's pretty wild, I've gone against him 2 or 3 times, and you'd be there fighting him, and the next thing you know, he's all this little guy who's not really scary. He does a little bit of damage in his sort of kitten form or whatever you want to call him, and then he just erupts and goes all goddamn crazy. And the fact that he can stun you and he just blows you up, it's really scary, the damage he does, because especially with his passive, he gets all the bonus stats and whatnot, and it is crazy. I don't know how viable he is, because it's very random how he turns into his. It's not so. Well, it is kind of random. It's not like you control it like Shyvana. You can, you press R and then you do it. He kind of, builds up his rage, and then it's just like boom, I'm going crazy. So if you know it's going to happen, you can kind of back off. But at the same time, when it does happen, he is pretty damn scary. So I really recommend checking him out if you haven't seen him yet. Checking out Riot Spotlight. There's, like I said, there's a video up on my channel. There's also a video looking at his skin, the Dino Gnar. I think it is a really cool skin. The recall just tops it off. So Riot have now released a new Miss Fortune skin. Certainly needed. I felt her other skins were a little bit plain. She's a very underplayed champion. Hopefully now that the skins come out, maybe people think, what a cool skin, and they want to play her. Arcade Miss Fortune, really retro like the previous arcade skins. I really love this skin. You can see in the clips in this video, and if you want to see my whole video looking at this skin, the link will be in the description. So I'm sure all you guys that play League of Legends probably have a favourite team that either plays in the NA LCS or even the EUS LCS, potentially could be into one of the Asian leagues as well. We're going to start off looking at the NA LCS. Recently it's just finished with Cloud9 winning the league, LMQ coming second, and my favourite team, that's Team Solid Mid, actually finished third. A lot of roster changes happening for them, maybe upset them and whatnot, but Cloud9, since coming onto the scene, I think it was about a year or 2 years ago now, they've been really, really big. So what happens now? So because Cloud9 and LMQ finished first and second, that means that when they go off into the playoffs, you can see the group back here, that they're already going to the semi-final. Meaning in the quarterfinals, Team Solar Mid will have to face against Dignitas, big rivalry there. Whichever team wins that will then face LMQ in the semi-final. And on the other hand, in the other quarterfinal, you have Team Curse, that's Counter Logic Gaming. Whoever wins that then faces off against Cloud9 and into the semi-finals. And whoever wins those semi-finals, for example, Team Solar Mid versus LMQ, because of course Team Solar Mid are going to beat Dignitas, and then they're going to beat LMQ, so they get to the final. And then the same goes, say, if Curse beat Counter Logic Gaming, they go against Cloud9, Cloud9 beat curse, you know, whatever, anything can happen. So for an example, you then have Solo Mid versus Cloud9 in the final. That means whoever wins that gets crowned the champion of NA. But what happens, those two teams then reach the Worlds. So they actually will go into a bracket for the Worlds who face against all the other top teams. You have the top 3 teams through the EUS, which I'll talk about in a second. And they will go into the Worlds. And then there's also one other team, there's a third place team which happens. So basically, whoever goes into the semi-final, so for example, my example was that LMQ would lose and also Curse would lose. So those two then go into a third place match. Whoever wins that, for example LMQ wins, they then also go as Worlds place. So there's 3 Worlds places up for grabs. So, you know, sure, you get the honor, I guess, of winning this whole playoff, which would be huge. It'd be big momentum getting into the Worlds. But even if you do lose the final, and you know, even if you lose the semi-final and go to the third place match and win, these are still, you know, you still go to the Worlds. So that covers the NA. So for some unknown reason, I was unable to find a bracket exactly the same for the NA. I don't know why they've done one for the NA and they haven't done for the one for the EU West on the LoL page. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have been able to find a results one on the LoL esports. So if you don't want to see the results just yet, the EU one has been completed. We do have a winner, second place, and third for who will be going to the Worlds. If you don't want to see, then turn away now, guys. But if you want to know what's happened, or if you already know, and stay tuned. So we started off with Alliance. I believe actually won the tournament, so they automatically get put into the semi-finals along with Fnatic, who comes second. I could be wrong on this. It doesn't actually say, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So we had SK Gaming facing off against Millennium in the first quarterfinal. SK Gaming did win that 3-0. These are best of 5, so Millennium not even picking up a game against them. And in the second quarterfinal, we had Super Hot Crew going against Rocat. Rocat did win that 3-1, meaning that Alliance would have faced SK Gaming in the semi-finals. Alliance taking that leg, or taking the game 3-1, and Fnatic actually beating Rocat 3-2, coming down to the wire on that one. So moving into the final, we then have Alliance against Fnatic. 2 big teams going head to head. Fnatic obviously were in the Worlds last year, and Alliance did pick up the games there, winning 3-1, meaning that Alliance and Fnatic both go to Worlds. We then have our third place, and this is for the final spot for EUS going on to the Worlds, with SK Gaming taking out 3-0 over Rocat, meaning that SK Gaming, Fnatic and Alliance will be going into the Worlds. And for the 5th place, make sure that whoever loses this 5th place game will get relegated from the league. Same goes for NA, I didn't mention that. And that team then has to go into a promotion bracket that plays against some new teams that are trying to get into the league, meaning that Millennium, who lost 3-0 to Super Hot Crew, will have to try and fight for their place if they want to get back into the EU West or LCS. So we now have 3 arcade skins in game, thanks to the new Misfortune one, which was released last week. On top of that, we had the previous Hecarim one and the Sonya one, meaning that sure, there's got to be 2. We've got to have a complete set. We've got a complete Pentakill set. We want a complete arcade set. So Riot have released this teaser picture, which you can see now in this video. I'm going to release the champion's name, or who's going to be getting the skin, in a second. Give you guys a little time to think about it. You maybe want to pause the video, have a little look at the picture, try and see if you can see any references to the character, maybe even the hand. Maybe that hand, you know, who's got a mechanical hand like that? So if you're ready, guys, drum roll please. The new arcade skin that is going to be coming out is Veigar. They dare to mock me, I'm the final boss, the whole reason they exist. And that is the quote from Final Boss Veigar. That's getting prepared for the ultimate battle. So as I was a little bit late in making this video, being away and whatnot, it does mean that the skin sales, Stroke Champion sales, only has 1 day left. But not to worry, you have 1 day, guys. That's all you need to go pick yourself up the Super Villain Veigar skin at originally 975 RP, reduced down to an amazing 487. Why not be some true badass of Veigar in the mid lane? On top of that, probably one of not necessarily my favorite skin, well, not my favorite skin in game, but I think it's one of the coolest skins in game, and that is Arcade Hecarim. Originally being an expensive skin at 1,350, they've split that price down in half, and you can pick him up for 675 RP. I'm not a Hecarim player, but that price is certainly interests me into getting it. And on top of that, our final skin, being a little bit cheaper, is the Forsaken Olaf. Certainly not as exciting as the other skins, but if you're an Olaf fan, you don't have a skin, maybe you want to pick this up. Originally 520 RP, now 260, so nice and cheap. And finally, moving on to the champion sales, we have the beast that is Aatrox, a really strong top laner, can even be used for jungling if you wish. Split down to 487 RP now. There is then Kennen, a nice mid laner. Don't really see him used that often. Again, can be used up in the top lane. He's now been halved into 440 RP. And finally, if you want to pick up yourself a support, and could even be used as some crazy mid laner making some big plays with his bombs, that is Zilean, originally 585 RP, now at a spanking price of 292 RP, guys. So there you are, guys. That was my weekly LoL news for all you bosses. Hopefully you've enjoyed this new series that I've come up with. If you guys want to see more, please let me know. If you have any ideas which could improve it, you'd like to see something change. No, I'm open to ideas. You guys are the bosses. You're my commanders. Let's put it that way. You control me. I'm like a little League of Legends character. You're moving the mouse, and I'm doing what you want me to do. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. Peace. GG to you guys that have made it this far. You earn yourself a cookie, nom nom nom. You now have the option to click onto some of my previous videos. Clicking on the top lane will take you to a playlist of all my top lane videos that I've made, over 150, including champions like Nasus, Renekton, Garen, Zed, Teemo. Click on my Nasus guide, you'll find out how to play Nasus like myself. Mid lane takes you to a playlist of all the mid laners I've played, Lux, Kassadin, Valkos, many more, and all the pentakills for the pentakill playlist, along with some kill compilations and some pro plays in there. Enjoy, have a good day, peace.